Yeah,
on that
it
on
is.
that door is
It is.
done by you?
It is done by me. So I have the art is something which calms me. So I am a self-taught artist. I like to paint on different surface. So custom-made shoes.
Okay.
I draw on buildings. So you can see only the one wall. If you see my Instagram, see my other wall, everything here I have made one Jack Sparrow. Uh,
You studied mechanical engineering, right?
yes, yes,
You did
yes,
your MBA,
yes.
and then you moved into HR.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Uh, how did that go?
Yeah, so all of my graduation or studies has a funny story behind that. My father was in an army. I
Okay.
tried for Navy, but unfortunately during that time, one of my close friend who was to come with me for the interview for the
Hmm.
service selection board, passed away. So
Oh,
that had an yeah somewhat of an mental stress on me, and I then left the decision of joining the armed forces. So then my father was little bit angry with me. So
hmm.
I thought, okay, I will write this KBAT, and actually I got the 15th rank all over Kerala.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, so that's how my MBA journey started. So no offense to the government system, but office are a little bit slow in things. So I was someone who likes to research, do everything fast paced, etc. So there also I
Hmm.
try to implement some of the things like for learning and development, for employee engagement, etc. But the system, as in the process, took a lot of time. You had to go through a lot of approval process, and they were not that much interested in employee initiatives, things like that. Even though the
Hmm.
work-life balance, in that work-life balance part was very good. Work was so if you tell work-life balance, I'll tell work was 20%, balance was 80%. So that was the typical government office. So, but I was not getting that zeal or kick of doing something, implementing something, or
Hmm.
seeing that incremental growth, etc. So that's when I decided, I will look for an opportunity. I'll look for a corporate opportunity, and preferably start.
Hi, Vijay. Welcome
Okay, sure.
to welcome to the Digital Homad podcast. I'm so humbled, and I appreciate you for being here. Uh, and I remember we spoke a couple of days back
Yep.
regarding some work, and I asked you about the podcast. You were so into it. You promptly said yes. So thanks for doing that. So for our audience, just to give a little bit background about you. So Vijay is from Kerala. He works at Rebid, and so we'll talk about Rebid from Vijay himself. He has majority of his experience into HR, scaling people and culture teams at startups, and also into startup growth, employee branding, HR analytics. That's his background. He's from Kerala. I think born and brought up there, studied there as well. So we'll uh, hear from him about his journey uh, from childhood uh, till now, and we'll also try to unpack about little bit about Rebate, about his work experiences into on-site versus in remote work as well. So here we kickstart. Welcome, Vijay.
Thanks, Shubham. Thanks for welcoming me to your podcast. Actually, yes, I remember we connected few days back, but we connected instantly, if you remember. We had
Yeah,
talked about how is the recruitment going, what is AI and HR, things happening, how is the remote work culture going. Yep.
yeah.
Yep. And really happy to be there in your podcast to share what are, so I don't consider myself to be expert. Whatever is my experience, what has been my background, I'm happy to share here at the podcast.
Yep. And I mean, like, we do not have this thing that we would call people expert, right? I personally believe, and the community I belong to believes that everybody has unique experiences. If
Experience,
you
yes.
have lived 20 years or 25 or 30, you have your own set of experiences that may not be similar to any other person, or maybe. And your experiences can teach other people some lessons, or maybe give them a clear path to a destination that you have already arrived, and some
Yes.
people are just taking the initial steps.
Yep.
We do not bring any expert on our podcast for now, just to for the sake of expert. We try to bring real people on the podcast so that we can, share their real journey, right?
And
And because reality is very different from what you see in cinemas and in most of the world. So
yes.
that's our aim here,
Yep.
and our
Awesome.
audience is also very. I mean, like it's from tier three, tier two cities, right? Uh, tier one also, but most of the people are Gen Zs and some are millennials, and they
Millennials.
are just stepping into this workplace where they see a lot of things are changing right now.
Changing, yes.
So let's start with you, Vijay. So you studied mechanical engineering, right?
Yes, yes,
You did
yes,
your MBA,
yes.
and then you moved into HR.
HR, HR.
Uh, how did that go? I mean, like, was it overnight you felt, or is like, some gradual change that
So
happened?
actually, all of my graduation or studies has a funny story behind that. So I'll start from there. So I did my father was in an army,
Okay.
so I was an army brat. Used to travel a lot. I had to change schools, etc. But
Hmm.
so he wanted me to join defense force.
Interesting.
So obviously I started preparing for that, and he enrolled me into Sainik school. If you know, it is like a
Yeah.
military school. From sixth standard till your 12th standard, you are in a boarding school, like proper
Hmm.
military setup, everything. So after that, I tried for my defense exam. I tried for the NDA, National Defense Academy entrance. I cleared the entrance three times, but I could not clear the SSB, which was the Service Selection Board, which happens to be 7 days of a long process where they evaluate you physically, psychologically, everything. If you are a good fit to be an army officer. So I could
Yeah.
not clear that. So I did not stop there. So the next path towards becoming an officer is you go after graduation.
Okay.
So once you go after graduation, me and my friend, so we took engineering because if you go for engineering, you can go for technical entry as well as the CDS, which is the common entry after graduation. So you get
Hmm.
extra two chances. So that's how
Yeah.
I got into engineering. And in engineering, I took mechanical because that was the branch in which mostly it was still boys. If you know
Okay. Yeah.
mechanical, yeah, the ratio of female students in mechanical is less. So since I was in a boarding school, which was only boys school, so it
Hmm.
was we thought ki mechanical would be good, and we went for mechanical. So, but then I really liked the subject. I was always into machines, even my father. So if you know, like army people, they tell they are not expert in anything, but master of none, but they know everything a little bit. So I
Yeah.
used to see my father repairing the radio, etc. So I was into machine center. So mechanical was good for me. So after mechanical, I tried for the naval entry. I
Okay.
tried for navy, but unfortunately during that time, one of my close friend who was to come with me for the interview for the
Hmm.
service selection board, he passed away. So
Oh.
that had an yeah somewhat of an mental stress on me, and I then left the decision of joining the armed forces. So then my father was a little bit angry with me, and yeah, so he was like, uh, you don't have any ambition, you can't crack anything and all. That's when I took decision of the key I will crack the uh so we have math, right? Which is the
Yeah.
aptitude for joining the MBA courses. So we have something called similar in Kerala. It's called KMAT. So
Okay.
you have NEET or things which is all India level, but you have state-wise engineering exams also. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought, okay, I will write this KBAT, and actually I got the 15th rank all over Kerala.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, so that's how my MBA journey started. So as any 90s kid would do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Engineering के बाद क्या फिर MBA. So that's how my MBA started. So I took, since I was from a mechanical background, I took HR and operations as my core subjects.
Okay.
Uh, and even though I took HR because it was lighter to study rather than going for finance or thing. My operations was my core area of interest. Even I did my internships, my project, my thesis, everything in operations.
Mm-hmm.
But when the campus placements came, I got into a management training in HR.
Okay.
So that was so I thought ki I will go there. I'll just go through the path which I got, but I'll keep trying for the operations role. But the
Mm-hmm.
thing was to get an operations core operations role in Kerala, it is very difficult since
Okay.
we don't have that much of any operation oriented industries or things in
Mm.
Kerala. So either I had to go to cities like Mumbai or someplace to get an exposure
Mm.
more into the operation side and things like that. So then I continued my this management training in HR, and that was an you can tell a PSU. So it
Okay.
was an quasi government organization.
Mm.
It was under the IT department of government of Kerala. Uh, so no offense to the government system, but office are a little bit slow in things. So I was someone who likes to research, do things, do everything fast paced, etc. So there also I
Mm.
try to implement some of the things like for learning and development, for employee engagement, etc. But the system, as in the process, took a lot of time. You had to go through a lot of approval process, and they were not that much interested in employee initiatives, things like that. Even though the
Mm.
work-life balance, in that work-life balance part was very good. Work was so if you tell work-life balance, I'll tell work was 20%, balance was 80%. So that was the typical government office. So, but I was not getting that zeal or kick of doing something, implementing something, or
Mm.
seeing that incremental growth, etc. So that's when I decided, key, I will look for an opportunity. I'll look for a corporate opportunity and preferably startup.
Okay.
Yeah, so the thing was in Kerala, the startup culture is a little bit slow. Not that much as we have it in Bangalore, be it Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, or Pune, even Hyderabad is currently coming
Mm-hmm.
here. So we don't have that much of thing. So that's when I started looking for Bangalore. Even though I have done all of my schooling, my graduation, everything, I thought, okay, nee, if I have to grow, I have to move out of the house. So, थोड़ा time independent रहना चाहिए. And
Yeah.
that's when I thought, कि nee, now I will move. So I started applying, and uh, luckily Rebid happened. So I joined Rebid as an HR executive. So currently, I have just completed my 3 years in there, and the growth has been exponential. So that's the good thing of being in a startup, especially like Greenbit.
Mm.
So if you have an visionary CEO who gives you that authority, right? Who gives you that opportunity, who believes in you, then it was a crazy growth because setting up the processes from the whole, seeing the process that you set up, seeing that in action, getting the result. So it has been a crazy growth along with Reboot. So I was the 15th employee who was hired.
Mm-hmm.
So setting
Okay.
up the HR process, everything from scratch, learning, connecting with the community, connecting with the different people across the spectrum, being in Bangalore, and that exposure has been great with me. So this has been my background till now.
Awesome. So thanks for sharing the detailed journey of yours. We'll come back to your, the startup Bangalore thing a little later in our conversation, which is very
Sure,
interesting.
sure.
I'm very interested in startups and particularly in Bangalore, and you have lived that life, so definitely.
Yes.
Uh, So you mentioned that your father wanted you in army or defense. You tried,
Yeah,
and then something happened. You didn't go with that. You tried Navy, then
mhm.
got 50th rank in KMAT and did the MBA. Wanted to go into operations, but because of less number of opportunities in Kerala, you moved to HR. Do you see that? I mean, like from that stage when you did your MBA till now,
Mhm.
has Kerala changed in terms of
Yes, yes.
industrialism or the startup culture, like you mentioned?
Yes. I remember it was in 2020. So the Kerala government came with an initiative called Startup Kerala. So
Okay.
they had now promoted. So we had a conclave last year. Actually, I had also attended. It was
Mm-hmm.
predominantly for to get investors and build that startup ecosystem in India. So
Mm.
they had an investor made. So currently, even so, if you know, actually, the first IT park as an whole-fledged IT park came in Kerala. So
Okay.
if you just check it out, it will come. It has been in Thiruvananthapuram, which is my home city. It is called Technopark. So it was the like proper first IT hub in India, which came up. I think way
And
back in
when
90s itself it came up way back. Even before
way
Bangalore,
back.
the startup culture started, we had this technopark. But the thing was, it mostly the service companies like Infosys, Accenture, USD, Alliance, etc. They had these offices here. So
Mm.
currently, the government what they have reduced, they have taken up different other properties and they have put the next phases to this. Like currently, Technopark has four phases, like phase one, phase two, phase three. And in each phase, we have new startups coming up. And even Kerala government has an institution called KSUM, that is the
Hmm.
Kerala Startup Mission.
Okay.
So what they do is that they like if you like and they have taken up buildings and they provide these spaces to startups at an at an discounted cost, along with giving them opportunities to network, to grow, and build that startup from their own system. So they have grants currently given. So that's
Okay.
shift that I currently see. Even now currently in operations also
Hmm.
the I just went the last month for an for the 2023 MBA batch mock interview of
Hmm.
uh, of my previous college as an alumni. So once I went there, I saw that the placements are coming in operations also because we have currently one of the Adani Group has built a port here in Kerala, which is also near. So there are so many opportunities in terms of
Mm.
industrial operations, things coming up in Kerala.
Yeah. And like you said, Indian government is building startup communities, these missions, and new plans, initiatives in everywhere. Similarly, like the biggest thing is happening in Gift City in Gujarat,
Yes,
right? They're calling industries, but yeah, I think I have also experienced this that whenever an IT park open up, the first few companies that come, start their operations there are like the biggest
biggest, yes, yes, yes.
services
Service
companies
companies,
in
yes,
India. That's how it starts, and
starts.
then other company
Other companies
started
come up.
building up. But I think the vision is to bring more product companies to in.
That to India, of course. So in India, it is happening. The product companies. So if you see most of the unicorns that are built coming up in India are product companies, but
Hmm.
predominantly Kerala, the product companies system is little bit slow because I think mainly because the adoption is less because we have less product companies coming up from Kerala. Even when I was in Bangalore, I was just
Mhm.
mentioning to my mom. My mom was telling just go to the Kirana store and buy something. I was telling in Bangalore you don't have to step out. You have you
Yeah.
have Swiggy, Zepto, and Blinkit competing for each other. And
Yep.
currently, we just have Instamart just has launched in Kerala. Just
Hmm.
now, that also in some cities,
Okay.
so very minimal cities that do with very minimal operations. One of my friend has been placed as an operations manager there, so I know
Hmm.
the thing.
Yep. I think that's the thing. Like Zepto or 10 minutes delivery is for. metro cities.
Metro cities.
Right now, it seems like that because otherwise economics doesn't work for smaller
That's
cities.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, like, good to see that, even tier one cities are adapting that culture. Had both good and bad sides of
yes,
not stepping out just for one small thing. But it has a good side. I see is like if you want something urgent and you cannot step out, you still get it on in your house, right? Also, you have that access. If you want to step out of your house, you can still buy it,
right.
uh, have a walk
And
or
the other thing is like it gives them an gives the opportunity for employment increases, right?
yes. I think Zomato has done a very, very
Very well.
substantial work in employing the unemployed
And
uh,
employed
people in every city of
city.
India where Zomato and Swiggy exist. And a lot of people that well, I order very frequently, very oftenly with
Mm.
Zomato. And I found like they have built a system to train these people to how to talk to customers, how to
Yes, yes, yes.
use the
And
application and
and and also the
deliver the order.
order. And also the other thing which I have seen is that uh, when I talk to any of the Uber driver whom I travel with or the
Hmm.
delivery boy, Swiggy, Zomato, the other thing is that they have this sense of respect of they get from this job. So I asked an Uber guy कि how is the life going? तो उसने बोला sir I used to work somewhere but I started Uber because first is I am my boss. Whenever I
Hmm.
want to ride, I ride it. And next is the respect that Uber gives me. Like for example, he had some issue with one of the passengers. He complained to Uber, and next minute police is there for solving that. So that
Hmm.
sense of respect they get for doing the job, that is also great.
So I heard something different in Noida and in
Mm.
Gujarat. Uh, these guys uh, haven't asked this question whether you like your job or not. Definitely
Mm.
they liked it. That's the reason they are still doing it. But a narrative is going on in Noida, NCR, and Gujarat that these guys are not happy with the payment system of particularly Uber, not Ola.
Mm.
And a lot of backlogs happen for them. They don't get payment for like next, for a month. It's delayed
Oh.
basically. So that is one thing that I recently heard from couple of the drivers, especially
Mm.
from Uber, not from Ola.
Oh, mm.
But yeah, I would agree that these people uh, have that, now they are their own boss. They are the owner of their time. And it gives them very decentralized way of working that you can
Workings.
work whenever you want. You can take leave. You don't have to report to anyone. And you are earning a handsome amount of money.
Money, yes.
Though it is very hardworking job, sometimes you have to take someone for 1.5 hour from, for example, where I live and where my airport is, it's like 1.5 hour drive, and usually people book flights for 4 a.m. in the morning or 5 a.m. So
Uh,
for at that time, it's really become difficult because
good.
that's everybody sleeping at that time. So
Mm.
sometimes it gets feels like okay, what I might be doing, I should be sleeping at my home. But yeah, definitely hardworking. But yeah, respectable job, I would say. Moving on, so wanted to hear from you about where you live. First of all, tell me what do you call it? You call it Trivandrum or you call it Trivantanpuram?
I call so it is officially it is called Thiruvananthapuram. So Trivandrum was
Okay.
a name which was given when Britishers were.
Mm-hmm.
1 second.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So sorry, Shiva.
No, it's okay.
So yeah, yeah. So it is officially it is called Thiruvananthapuram.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
Trivandrum was the name like we are using when Britishers were yep ruling. So it became
Yeah.
Trivandrum.
So the reason I asked this, I wanted to understand. Like I'm a North Indian,
Mm.
right? Never been to Kerala. Of course, my friends visited for their honeymoon, and the boat ride and backwaters, all of
Yes,
that.
backwaters.
Uh, it's on my wish list for sure, to visit Kerala, and wanted to understand. I was like, what's the culture? How was your childhood there? What does life looks like when you were in childhood versus life is now? Tell me about that.
Currently, it is not in terms of, I would say, culture in Kerala, but predominantly, difference between my childhood and now is, uh, like I get to see my friends lesser now
Mm-hmm.
because everybody is busy. Apart from that, due to the coming of technology, there has been an lateral shift. Even I mean, in my childhood, so here in Kerala, so we have this culture where everybody is a close-knit community.
Okay.
There is no like, so if you might have heard in news and all, we are in terms of progressive progressive culture, secular culture, we are a little bit ahead. So as a community, even the celebrate, which of one thing I like is we don't discriminate between a celebration between the religions. So
Mm.
currently, if it is, so we have this natural festival of ours called Onam. Yeah, so it is happening in September. Like next week, it is going to happen. So
Mm.
the thing is, everybody here celebrates Onam, irrespective of whatever religion they are, things like that. So that is same for Christmas and things. So I'm not exaggerating, but my left side neighbor is a Christian, and my opposite right side neighbor is a Muslim. So
Okay.
whenever so it is Onam in our house, we make this kheer. So we call payasam. It is
Yeah.
similar to kheer in which North Indians make. So we distribute there. When it is Christmas, we get the plum cakes from there. So the things are like that. And so in Kerala, Kerala is mainly known for especially landscape, football, literature, and city. So this has been predominantly my childhood. And apart from this, uh, since from sixth standard till 12th standard, since I was in an military school, which was like boarding
Mm-hmm.
and boys only. But the good thing was I got to sense a culture of across India because we had students from Bihar, we had students from Delhi. So that one thing was key. I would say that molded me to adapt socially. So one good thing which I like about myself is ki wherever I go, I gel into the crowd. So there is no
Mm.
barrier between me in terms of culture. Yeah, I can't speak that fluently Hindi, but so I have seen that culture. So we had even teachers who are North Indians.
Okay.
From Bengal, we had. So we had a little bit culture of everything. So and if you know in army, army in army there is they celebrate every festival
Yeah.
similarly. So that was the culture which we had there also. So it was more of an brotherhood, which was more of anything else. So
Mm.
like from from the age when you are becoming a youth, right? From sixth standard to 12th standard, it was more of friends who were with me rather than my family members. So
Family members.
yes,
Mm.
so that is still there. Like last month only, we school friends went on a trip on Spiti Circuit, if you know,
Yeah.
Himachal Spiti Circuit. So some of them I was waiting after 12 years, but we were just talking about that only. There was no disconnect which we felt. That's from where we left off, things like that.
Mm.
So that was how my childhood was, mostly in boarding school, etc. Then apart from that, yeah, in terms of shift, I would say there is not much of a shift, but this technological shift has been great. Even
Mm.
I was just telling my mom, like in childhood, we used to sit at night, read stories, tell. But currently, if you even at my home, I just my mom currently started using Instagram and YouTube. So it is she just scrolling continuously. There is not that real connect, as in personal connect that happens even inside the home. I am telling. So that's the thing. Like I remember during summer vacations, we just used to go out at till sun, pluck mangoes. So we have mango
Mm-hmm.
or orchids and things like that. So we used to just pluck mangoes, play cricket. But currently, I don't see that in this current generation, and for us also. We don't
Yeah.
do that.
Uh, has I'm like not sure if have every mom has become that, but I see that a lot around me as well.
Yeah,
More of Instagram and YouTube,
Instagram, YouTube.
new recipes coming
New,
in
yeah,
every
yeah,
day.
yeah, new recipes. Then she would be coming and telling me yesterday only, do you know what happened in that state? Uh, so things are good.
Yeah. And as you mentioned about Onam, is it like same way that Mumbai celebrates Ganpati?
Yes, yes,
Kerala
same, same.
celebrates Onam?
Celebrates Onam. Yes, yes. It's like a
Same
smaller
vibe.
festival. Same vibe, same vibe. So you have the state-sponsored celebration wherein government sort of lights up the street. They have this processions going on. You have people coming into the city center enjoying it. So it is a 10-day celebration. So you
Yeah, the
make this
fest long festival.
floral alignment. Yes, yes, yes.
Cool. And you mentioned about boarding school, like
Hmm.
from 6th to 12th standard. Uh, I mean, like, and still 6th standard you were in with your family.
Yes,
Was
yes.
that
With my
a,
family.
a shift that was hard to handle or manage? Or was it like, okay, this was supposed to happen and yeah, I'll live with it?
It, no, no, so as I mentioned, na, I was prepared to go there. So they also have this entrance, which is an
Hmm.
all India entrance, and from after that only you get selected. So every batch has
Okay.
only 50 to 60 students across the
Hmm.
state. So each state, I
And
think
where was this located?
Trivandrum itself.
Okay.
So that is it. I'll tell you. So the school is just 10 kilometers from my home,
Hmm.
but I could see my parents only once in a year.
Oh,
That's
nice.
strict. So it is like proper military school. So I was prepared. So they have this entrance examination and things like that. So I was prepared. I should go, but first 1 week I used to cry a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, homesickness, moving away from mother, new environment, new people. But after 1 week, they have built a system like what we have now, proper onboarding for our employees.
Hmm.
Week 1, week 2. After 1 week you get that sort of a newcomer pampering, but after 1 week it is directly you have to go to system. So system is set in a such a way that we have a routine.
Okay.
5:30 you wake up, 6 to 7 you have physical training.
Okay.
Then at 8:30 you have to report to mess for the
Hmm.
common breakfast. Then 9:30 you start your class. 1:30 class is over.
Hmm.
Uh, 2:30 you have other activities if you have club activities, etc. 4:30 you have to go for games, mandatory. Again 6:30 you have your night studies, which is it is not like you if you wanted you have to go. No, no, you have to put your uniform, go to your classroom, sit at
Okay.
night, study for 2 hours. Then you have the dinner again at mess at around 9:30. 10:30 lights off.
Okay.
So
What's the significance of putting the uniform for the night study?
As I mentioned, now, this was an pre-grooming to join the defense.
Hmm.
So if you
Okay.
know in defense, they don't allow you to put anything, right? So if
Hmm.
you have set dress which you have to wear. So that was like a grooming. Even when used to go for morning classes, there's like proper uniform. It was like khaki shirt, khaki pant with that belt, thick belt which
Okay.
officer army people use along with the army boot, that cap, everything. So it was like proper army life. So you don't get that cushion or comfort to take this homesickness for more than 1 week. After one
Hmm.
week, you are into that system. You have to go. So you don't get the time to think, right? 5:30, you get a bell, you get up. You get ready, you have to go there at 6. After
Yeah.
6, 7, you come back, you have to take bath. Like you get like you have 30 people in one dormitory. You
Hmm.
have 45 1 hour maximum to get ready. You take bath, do your stuff, put in the uniform, go to mess. So you go to mess even after 5 minutes, you don't get your breakfast. It's like
Oh.
everybody has to start eating at the same time. We have prayer, etc. Then
Hmm.
after you finish that, you just start your you have to that too you have to march and go to your classes.
Hmm.
Yes, so that was the routine. So after that. And it was like so that's how the brotherhood started. So it was like proper army. So you do one mistake, everybody in the dormitory gets the punishment.
Okay.
So one guy is late for
Hmm.
class, everybody gets the punishment.
Okay.
So that's how even in the army they build that brotherhood things. So we make sure that
Yeah.
we look after for the buddy or guy next to me.
Hmm.
We make sure we take less time for getting ready. Or if other person needs something, we give it to them. So that's how that brotherhood, that bonding
So
started, and it
help your
help.
the
Yes,
whole
yes, yes. Whole
uh,
yes, whole team.
whole team building camaraderie
Yeah.
more, right? Uh, Two questions. So you said you cried for a week, right?
Uh-huh.
Was there any sort of ragging, anything related to ragging in army school when you went there?
No, so you don't so in our there you don't get ragging. So uh, our seniors can give us punishment. So it is by default punishment system is there, but it is
Hmm.
not at all ragging. So ragging
Okay.
is when you like used to go to college, you beat up kids, so you do them
Hmm.
and you tell them to do unnecessary tasks. Here nothing like that. All the
Okay.
tasks which are given, everything is for your professional grooming or things like that. And even
Hmm.
the punishments which they give is for is physical punishments. Like you take 10 push-ups,
Hmm.
do 50 sit-ups, like that.
Yeah, that is good for your body, right?
Good
At
for your
least.
body. Not that
Hmm.
unnecessary ragging where there is a mental torture, mental trauma,
Hmm.
nothing like that. You do mistake, you get punishment. That's all.
Okay. Uh, Also, you mentioned, I mean, like, so what I'm hearing is a lot of routine and ritual that was,
Hmm.
you know, injected from 6 to 12 in army schools,
Yes.
right? I feel that is important in every phase of life. Be you are a worker or you are a student or you are anything working in any industry. How do you see, how does uh, your life shaped up with this routine and ritual? And do you follow any routine or ritual now?
Yeah, yeah. So what helped me the most was the confidence to speak. So what the routine and curriculum did was it focused on the overall development of ours. And then
Hmm.
it was just not focused on you have to study. No, no. So as I mentioned, rain. If it is rain, sunny, or anything, you two things don't miss. You don't miss at science school is your
Hmm.
morning PT and your games.
Okay. So
It was
irrespective of
like
any weather.
irrespective of any weather, you have to do
Hmm.
that. So physically, it made us stronger.
Hmm.
The next thing was mentally.
Hmm.
So just say, like if you have seen this special forces podcasts which happened right in
Hmm.
YouTube, etc. So that's the mindset. We have to do this. So we have different activities for that. So we have this obstacle course, like proper
Hmm.
obstacle course. So you have to conquer that as a team. So the team building strategies, how to navigate things. So
Hmm.
we find out कि this person is weak in our team. तो उसको कैसे support करते हैं? How
Yeah.
can we bring up that motivation? To morale. So these
Hmm.
things is something which I feel even currently uh, that has taken me up to where I am. Being speaking to others, drilling well, finding out a situation, how to strategize that, can say how to motivate team, how to find out the team, how to manage the team and go. So these things have made. And in routine, yes, sir. So there, what was change that happened in routine is now I have added the self-care and skincare to my routine. That's all.
Nice.
So there we did not have that. So we were everyone was like sunbath. We had lot of tan, etc. But now I
Hmm.
have just added to keep the same thing. Morning I get up at around 6. I go for gym,
Hmm.
physical activity, come back. Then I just do my skincare routine, just ice things like that. Then it is normal. So
Okay.
at 8 o'clock I just put up key what all my top strategies or top things to do, and then I start
Hmm.
work. So that routine has
So that still helping you
still helping me.
in your, and do you see like, so just asking this for your opinion,
Hmm.
kids who are going to private schools or government schools, normal schools versus kids who are going to army schools. Do you
Mm.
see that the routine or the rituals or the sort of activities that army school has should be implemented to every other school so that people or the students or the kids are aware of the physical activity, how, why, and how it is important for them, for their life, right? And how it builds uh, the community is there is not to
Mm.
compete with one another but to work as a team
Work as a team.
and achieve the goals as a team. Do you see that what's your opinion on this?
Yeah, yes, yes. Even I remember telling my mom. I used to tell my mom, if somebody comes to me, I would advise that person to at least just make sure that the child, child or whomever it is, just go outside their home, stay like in a boarding school for at least 2 years. So the good thing is this, you learn self-independence. I
Hmm.
remember I had some coursemate who did not know how to tie their shoes.
Hmm.
But
At
then there you
in
have to
sixth
do it.
standard.
Huh?
Hmm. Yes.
That is their expected, right? Sometimes we don't know because we have been pampered. The mother comes. It is the
Yeah.
sweetness of mother and it is the satisfaction
Yeah.
for her. He last tiger. But there you have to do it. Wash your clothes,
Hmm.
things, everything, self-dependent. So yes, I feel that there should be at least some activity. I'm sure ki we can't put the whole routine which we have into the
Hmm.
students because we are staying there. We have that system wherein food is made for us. All other facilities
Yeah.
are there for us, but there should be some activity like at least join NCC.
Yeah.
Make sure that they join Boy Scouts or something. And other thing is make sports mandatory because as I mentioned now in schools currently the system is you have one PT period.
Hmm.
But for
Yes.
us, as I mentioned, right, 4:30 to 6:30 mandatory games.
Mandatory games. Hmm.
Nothing happens other than that. So even if you play games or like football or group games, that itself builds an thing of team
Yeah. I
management,
think
team things.
yes. Most of so this is my experience in my childhood and my friends and here in like
Mm.
where we were going to school, coming back at 2 p.m. and then having
Uh,
lunch and then study and then play. My childhood was like that where and in around me as well like this if you are playing so you
mm.
get very less time to play. Plus, it's a luxury for you if you are going out and play,
Like
right?
yes.
And more of the time you have to study, right?
Mm.
Complete your homework, study,
Then like some
prepare
reward
for.
to that.
Yes, so reward for studying a lot, getting good marks,
Yes,
uh,
big
treating games or sports or anything is like okay you can play only for this much hour or like say
this much.
1 hour, right? If you study good then we'll give you a bat or a cycle or that, which somehow brings this mentality that okay I have to work hard in studies, right? But takes away that joy or takes away that mentality from a kid that physical movement or activity. Sports is not just like you are playing cricket or football to get selected into a national team.
Mm.
It is something that you can pursue over the period of your
Over the
time,
period of
even
time.
in your 30s and your 40s, so that your body stays active,
Stays. Yes, yes, yes.
your reflexes
It's a
works right still in 40s. But most of the people they leave these sports. Some people who does little bit of good they are moving ahead, right? So the parents still motivate and support them, okay if you
motivates
are
them.
doing good. But most of the students were leaving sports in like let's say in 7th or 8th grade because board is coming, now you have to prepare for that and then
Prepare
they
for both.
I don't see a lot of people who were playing cricket. They used to play cricket even in college or after
Mm.
college. People want to play it, but still not playing it because they feel it like, okay, now they are doing job, lack of time. Earlier they were studying, lack of time, lack
Lack
of,
of time.
uh, I would say, direction because the focus was more into study and all. But I think uh, like you mentioned about army school, 2 hours was dedicated for sports. No matter what is going on in your
What
life, no matter what is happening, I think that should be a ritual for every kid and
every kid, yes.
everybody. even if you are playing badminton, right, for 4 times a week, it should be a
Habit of,
habit
yes,
or
yes.
a hobby to do that. Great. I like that. And I like your skincare. We'll talk about that as well because after my marriage, I also had to follow a skincare routine, which
Skincare,
my
yes, yes, yes,
which
yes.
my forces me to follow, and she made it. Of course, people. I mean, like I started liking my skin a lot after doing so for an year and a half because it really improves, makes you
Improves.
better, right? It helps you. Let's touch base. So Kerala is very beautiful. You have temples, you have museums, you have art galleries, you have beaches, right? If you had to, give me three things, right,
Hmm.
that you guys know and anybody who is outside of Kerala wouldn't know about Kerala. What are the three things, most common things that we can see in Kerala happening?
Most common things.
It could be related to food or some hobby or some sort of things. For example, in our area in North India, right? It's very common when the winters comes, right? It's very common that everybody would go into their lands, or now there are very lesser lands, so get some cane sugar and do that. In summers, cane sugar juice is very common here, right? Shikanji is
uh,
very common. So any common things that you guys have in Kerala, but people who have never been to Kerala or maybe visited for 3 or 4 days would never experience that. Most common thing happening there.
that. So, I would say, so we have this. I think in North also that is there. The fermented drink called toddy.
Uh, so that's if you're talking about tadi, that from khajur ka
Yeah,
ped and all, right?
yes,
Yeah,
yes. So we make it from palm. And in Kerala, that is like an staple
drink.
product
Okay.
drink we use. So even we use for making our pancakes. So for fermentation, for example, we are making idli. You have to ferment that batter overnight, right? So
Mm-hmm.
others use soda, baking soda, or
Mm-hmm.
yeast. So what we use is this thing. So in every
Mm.
household you find toddy, but the level of usage would be different. So some
Mm.
people, like if you go to mid portion of Kerala,
Mm.
they have it staple in making bread, making pancakes. So we have something called appam, which is a fluffy
Yeah.
pancake made from rice flour, etc. So they
Mm.
use that for fermentation. But I don't think anybody else, even in North, you guys have taddy, but you don't use it for
No,
fermenting the batter.
it's
I
a
don't.
totally different use. If you drink it fresh, it's good for. I mean, like both ways, it is good for body. It gives you it keeps your body cool because it's a
Cool.
summer
Yes,
drink.
yes, yes.
But if it is like an hour old or 2 hours old, it makes you high as
You
well,
kick that. Yes, yes. Same, same,
right?
same here. We
So
we
people
we
use
we
it
have.
to get high.
So I don't think you guys have the authorized shops in there,
No,
right?
no,
Government. So here, okay, that's the other thing. See here, government has authorized people to sell this toddy as drink.
as a drink. Okay.
Yes. So but you have to drink like 7 to 8 bottles to get that high.
Oh, okay.
It is a mild high. So the thing with this story shop is that you get to see the local cultural vibe happening. So, like for example, you have rave parties, you have Onam,
Hmm.
but you go to Tory shop, you can see different people
Hmm.
irrespective of which profession they are,
Hmm.
irrespective of caste creed, everybody comes together, has this drink, and so they have this bench like which we had in school, na old time, not like the iPad school. Old schools we had bench, right? They have this bench. They make tunes in the bench, and they sing folk songs along with
Okay.
drinking this toddy. So
Hmm.
that's a culture I don't think most of the other people have seen in Kerala. But I would recommend if you ever visit Kerala, like you are looking for backwaters, you have
Hmm.
Alappuzha, you have Kuട്ടനാട്, there you find ample toddy shops. Go there,
Hmm.
experience that. And the food in toddy shops are amazing. You have tapioca, things like that,
Hmm.
natural food. So
Cool,
that,
interesting. That's some more things to put on my wish list and
yes, yes, yes. Anytime you visit
nice.
Kerala, I'll be happy to be your guide. So most of the people in my company, last 1 year, at least 4 or 5 people I have recommended, I have put their itinerary to
Hmm.
visit Kerala.
So I think people who are watching can contact you, or maybe
Yes,
you
yes,
can
yes.
put a itinerary out for
Itinerary.
everyone that is things you should do.
That's a
Uh,
good thing. We have all landscapes. Be it be
hmm.
forest, mountains, beach, everything you find in Kerala.
Interesting. Uh, I'm a foodie, so I've been to a couple of places. Mostly live in North India.
Oh,
Traveled to West Bengal for work. Traveled to Odisha for work. Stayed there both places for a year and a half. Traveled a lot in Gujarat because my current company, has headquartered in Gujarat. I traveled to Mumbai,
Gujarat.
Pune area, Himachal and Uttarakhand. I call these places my second home. Uh, Exploring the cultural food, right? The very common man staple food of these places. I enjoy that a lot rather than the most flashy stuff or flashy food
Ah,
going on in these places. What are your top in Kerala? What are the top two or three staple food that you enjoy a lot, you like a lot, that people should know about?
so, first thing is Sadhya, but I don't. I think Sadhya is available across India now. You have Kerala restaurants. So
Mm-hmm.
Sadhya is like it is a platter. Mainly, it
Mm-hmm.
originated with the festivals or what we give in marriages.
Okay.
So आपके साइड पे marriage पे it is like the proper like छोले भटूरे or things like that. But for us,
Yeah.
you might have buffet also. No? Now currently you have sweets, then
Mm-hmm.
different things. So, but currently for us, everywhere you go, you get sadhya, and it is given in this banana leaf. You have around 14 plus side dishes.
14 plus side dishes.
Side
Okay.
dishes, just side dishes, I'm telling.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes with 3 servings of rice.
Okay.
So people who don't know how to eat a sadhya might take rice, like
With the
heavy
side
rice at
dishes.
heavy rice at first serving itself.
Mm.
And when the second serving comes, they're like, "Ki, nahi chahiye." So it is there's a ritual to have that sadhya. So you have this 17 side dishes. It consists
Mm-hmm.
of three pickle, then sweet dish, sour dish. Then you have sabjis, different kind of sabjis,
Mm.
along with papad is there. So you have the first serving of the rice,
Mm.
along with dal and ghee, along with papad. Then comes the second serving, which is served with sambar. Then
Mm.
comes three type of kheers. One would be
Okay.
made out of coconut milk. One would be made out of cow milk.
Mm.
Other would be made out of jaggery. Then
Okay.
again, a small portion of rice serving comes, and it is eaten with rasam and curd. So this is one thing I would recommend. It is I would recommend everybody to try once you visit Kerala. The second one is we have something called uh, uh, puttu.
Okay.
Puttu is nothing but it is steamed rice flour in
Mm-hmm.
cylindrical shape along with coconut gratings.
Okay.
That along with chana masala
Mm.
must try.
Okay. Nice. Uh, and okay. So these three things are must try. Let
Must
me let
try.
me know if I am pronouncing them correctly. First is Siddhi,
Sadhya.
Sadhya. Okay.
Yep.
And then is Puttu.
Puttu. Yes.
Okay, Sadhya and Puttu are must try in Kerala. And tell me this, so is Kerala you guys is a very like big meat eater state,
Hmm.
or you guys are a mix of both, like veg and non-veg?
Yeah. So we are so the sadhya which I mentioned now. So
Hmm.
for all of our auspicious or festivals, we are pure veg. The sadhya is pure veg.
Hmm. Hmm.
Nothing. But then um, I Yes, I think meat is an meat. Yes, meat is an important part of mostly everybody's
Okay,
diet
so
in Kerala.
how often you eat meat in a week? 2 or 3 times a week?
In a week, at least 2 times.
2 times a week.
Yes.
All right. So not we are not that big meat eater North India. Probably
Hmm.
Punjabis families are.
Punjabi sweet,
So
yes.
similar as to you, like two times a week. Uh, but yeah, I was talking to someone and they mentioned like Kerala is also a big meat eater. But as far as I know, in whole India, the biggest meat eater state is West Bengal because every meal has something,
Oh,
either
sorry, sorry.
chicken or mutton.
Meat in the terms, we have fish every day. So I forgot to mention that.
Okay, so you are treating fish as a veg.
I don't know. Yeah, yeah.
I,
So yeah, it is like veg for us. So sorry.
cool. So
We had fish
similar,
every day,
very
similar to
similar to
Bengalis. Yes,
Bengalis.
yes, yes.
They don't treat fish as non-veg.
Yes, yes.
It's
So
it's a veg
I
item.
think there are so many similarities between West Bengal and Kerala. We
Mm,
have coastlines, big
mm,
fish eaters. Look, culturally, literature, cinema, we have common
mm.
things. Then we had the communist governments in both the states.
Yeah.
Football,
And
we
you
love
you have
football.
beaches and are you a beach person or a mountain person?
Yeah, I get this asked a lot, so it depends on my mood. So
Hmm.
if I am little bit depressed, I'm sad, I go to beach, sit there, calm my
Okay.
mind. But
Mm.
if I want to have the joy that there's adrenaline rush, I go to mountains. So this is
Okay, so for joy, it's mountain, but for sadness, it's beach.
it is
Does
beach.
does beach give you because it has a serene, calm,
Hmm.
environment, and you have one sound which is so high there, which is of water and air.
Water
Is
splashing.
it because of that your mind calm
Yeah,
down?
I think so. So also the pattern of the waves, right? It is like an oscillating pattern. So if you see, like, we go to some for consultation, they use this pendulum for.
Mm-hmm.
So that is I think for that, just looking at that, for me, that oscillating sound and along with sound and that motion gives me that calmness.
Okay, cool. So also a little bit about uh, so about the food that you eat. So are you a fan of seafood or a fan of like chicken or mutton, or what do you like the most?
I would say seafood.
Seafood is your go-to
Yes,
food.
yes, yes. Because we get a lot of variety of seafood out.
Yeah, I think maybe because of that as well,
Yeah.
you get a lot of variety. And because you
And
mentioned like
it
it's a
can
staple for you guys.
staple, yeah, it is staple food and it can be fried, roasted.
Hmm.
Matlab, it can be made into lot of varieties.
Cool. Before we jump on to next stage of about your work, about the HR thing you are doing, uh, I'd like to ask a few questions, not probably not more than two. So, if you had to go back, so in time, what advice you would want to give to your younger self when you were starting as an engineer?
Starting as an engineer, uh, yeah, I would have thought to try something else because
Okay.
currently, one thing I currently noticed that there were a lot of ample opportunities. We did not have that guidance at that time correctly.
Hmm.
It is not just engineering and MBBS that is the uh, noble professions, but there are other things, other avenues, other fields that you can try. That is the one thing that I would give to my younger self, and I give to the younger children now. यार engineering or doctor नहीं है.
That
There
explore
are
more
explore
options.
करो. If I get a chance, I would have gone for marine archaeology. मुझे scuba diving
Hmm.
करना है, so I would have gone for that currently. But I currently came to know
Hmm.
that there is an thing like marine archaeology also. There are n number of things which people can try,
Can do, yes.
can do.
And I think I heard a lot. I'm like whomsoever I interview and I ask this question. One thing is very common that people tell me like because of less or no guidance, I was not exposed to all these options.
Options, yes.
Otherwise, I would have selected some other option, right? None of them said like, okay, and I wanted to be this guy that I am today. Everybody, I would say like not everybody, like 90% of the folks have told me that yeah, like we were not exposed or we were not aware
Yeah.
uh, of if someone was available for an advice or consultation, that would have been better. Uh, okay, and you chose to work with a startup right
Yes.
after your college, right after doing that internship. Most of the people are scared of startups because of let's say sustainability of the startup, or you say sense of security,
Yeah.
because security means government job. Still in India, it's like a government job
It's
thing,
like that
right?
only. Even I had a conversation with my mom yesterday. Mom was
Hmm.
like, something came up and mom was like, the government job is secure. And then I depend that now. I tell ki, whichever job you enjoy, you earn a lot. You have other
Yeah.
opportunities like uh, क्या मिलता है government job में? You get a pension, you have job guarantee for 60 years, right? So
Hmm.
currently we have also options, right? We have NPS, National Pension Scheme, where you can put money after 60 years, you also get the pension. You invest
Yeah.
that correctly in SIP and you do SWP, systematic withdrawal plan, then you also
Hmm.
get that. So it was like even that was that's the mindset that people have. Even my mom currently thinks that gold and land is the only investment that is
Hmm.
safe. So, but things are changing. We have a lot of options, right? It is
Yes.
just
I
the
think.
guidance that we need.
Yeah, agreed. Very interesting point. This, so I am also not into gold or land. I am more into stocks or
Yeah,
SIPs and all.
exactly.
Definitely a good point to ponder upon later or maybe some other time when we get it. But yeah, so what is the most fulfilling aspect of your startup life that you have been doing for a while? What do you feel is most fulfilling in that?
Most fulfilling is that the agility that I get to work on different
Hmm.
stuff. So, one example would be there are some of my friends who joined the big companies, the service companies. They're doing a
Hmm.
small part of HR work. They might
Hmm.
be only doing screening the resume. It has been three
Hmm.
years till now. But for me, it is not that. Like one day I'm just doing screening, next day it is interviewing the candidates, third day it is onboarding. And the other thing is
Hmm.
I can decide कि कैसा होना चाहिए onboarding structure. There are new things that are out there. I can try it. I can implement it. So as you had mentioned, there are two things like stability or job security, which is there. But
Hmm.
along the problems are what people think. But along with that, what gives is that you can try out new things. You can fail
Hmm.
at that, but again reinvent. So you have
Yeah.
that cushion to do that in a startup
Hmm.
and the exposure you get. So when I talk with my peers currently, so that's the thing that when I tell them, I do these things, they're like, you get a lot of exposure
Hmm.
early stage to do this much of things.
Yeah, and I think uh, exposure in early years of career is very important
Very
because
important.
that's
Yes.
shape up your career. Be it like your involvement in Sanic school has shaped the routine and ritual
Hmm.
and physical activity into you, versus now agility, where every organization wants to be in agile,
Ajay,
right?
yeah,
Right? They want to fail fast, learn fast, and
learn
grow
fast.
fast. So it is very important that if people, every individual is aware of that, exposed to it enough, then definitely the organization get a lot of benefit out of
Benefit.
that person. Uh, Also, I wanted to understand because startup is like, you have to work more. It's a narrative. I don't feel like it's every day that you have to work more, right? It's like balance between work and life. And since you are into remote work, right? Working remotely from Kerala, I'm working remotely from my home in Saharanpur. A lot of people working remotely from their homes, right, or from the mountains or beaches. How you carve out time for yourself working in a startup, and what does a perfect off day looks like for you?
So, yep. So, as you mentioned correctly, it is correct. There are some days where we have to put in that extra hours. Like I
Yeah.
currently might have like three positions going on simultaneously. So that
Hmm.
time for screening resumes, you have to sit a little bit longer, schedule the interviews. But apart from that, the good thing of working at regular startup is they don't measure the time that you have worked, right? It
Hmm.
is productivity or always over presence. That's even one of the principles which we follow at Revit. Productivity
Hmm.
always over presence. So we have set OKRs, objectives and key results. You
Hmm.
just achieve that, then whatever you do with your free time, nobody looks into that, right? It is not like in
Yeah.
9 o'clock you have to log in, 6 o'clock you log out. We don't. So even I have this debate with other HRs out there. Ki, so many people ask me how do you measure productivity? So how do you measure this if you're not tracking the pet? So what I ask them is during this time you mentioned, are they productive for you?
Hmm.
Are you measuring that, right? Or are you just measuring this time to build your client? So that's the what is your ROI, right? You want
Yeah.
at last you want your employee to be productive. So give them that opportunity to work flexibly in their own environment to be productive.
Hmm. Very well said. I think this narrative needs to be changed that attendance or presence is not
Yes,
productivity.
product
Output is the
output
productivity.
is the productivity. Yes, yes. Similarly, so there are people who work for 10 hours, but their work is not productive. But you are encouraging that kind of system, then it won't work,
Hmm.
right?
And even as per studies done by Forbes, they say like any employee is 60% productive on an average day, right?
Yeah,
So if you are working for 10 hours, you are actually working for 6 hours.
six
So
hours.
why not put some, uh, tactics or some new ways of working given by remote work, which, I learned it when I started working from home is like deep work. So in office, you have distraction. You are not aware when it's gonna come, how it's gonna come, and how deeply it can impact your time and energy. But in working from home, you can actually maintain that, or actually you can minimize that. Okay, I have to put 2 hours to for this dedicated task. Let's just put 2 hours here and get the max out of it. You might get 3x or 4x productivity in those 2 hours compared to 4 or 5 hours in office or in distractive environment. So,
So one thing which I use is this Pomodoro technique, if you know.
mhm,
So
yeah,
Pomodoro technique is nothing but you have 25 minutes of a timer. You do
mm,
focused work for that 25 minutes. 5 minutes to take a break, listen to music and come back. Otherwise, what
yeah,
I like, once I started remote, what I felt was that you you are doing a task. Sometimes an email or message comes, then you distract and go to that task. You open your
yes,
phone, you start scrolling. So Instagram, you know, right? You just see one reel, then you start scrolling and you don't know how 1 hour went.
yes, it
So I
happens.
think some things which we do is that what I do is that block my calendar. I
Hmm.
block the calendar for the day. So if I am focusing on recruitment, I am screening resumes. I just block my calendar saying ki 2:30 to 4 o'clock I am in recruitment. Do not disturb. So if there is some employee query, they wait. They message me. I just message them back after 3:30. I will attend to this.
Hmm.
If it is not that urgent. And what I do is that always create a knowledge base. What I think is like that. So you can find out now in startup or if you look at what are the
Hmm.
common employee queries that come.
Yes.
For me, one is IT related queries. Other
Hmm.
one is salary slip or PF or things like how do I put my reimbursements?
Hmm. Hmm.
What is the leave structure? How many leaves I have? So what I have
Yeah.
built is that in Slack. So we are a Slack first organization.
Hmm.
So for us, every internal communication happens in Slack. So Slack, if you know, has built. I don't think it is so popular there, but Slack has built so many productive tools currently
Hmm.
inside Slack. So if you have
Okay.
Slack Canvas, wherein you
Okay.
can create documents. So what I did is I created a company, whole company employee book, wherein you have the values, the principles. If you have an IT related issue, what you should do. So step by step,
Hmm.
I have guide I have prepared, and whenever the employee has a query, I just guide them to that. I don't have to go on a call with them. Even after that, if it escalates, then I come back. And I have built a ticket system in Slack itself. So if an employee
Hmm.
has a ticket, they can just go to that channel,
Hmm.
put that ticket. It comes to me as what kind of ticket is that, what issue is related, what is the priority of that, and it
Hmm.
gets logged as an Jira ticket also automatically.
Okay.
So I know this issue is there with an employee. This is pending. This who has taken care of.
Hmm.
So in working in small teams, I think remote the important thing is the have you built this system of automation where things are accessible first
Yes.
thing.
Of course. So what I heard from you is like one is time blocking, right? Definitely,
Yes, always
that
help
works.
grooming.
Always help. Big fan of time blocking. Promodo you mentioned. I do it a little customized version of Promodo for myself because my minimum meetings are like 30 minutes when
Hmm.
I speak to clients. So I do it for 60-10 instead of 25-5. So I work for 60 minutes and 10 minutes of break. I take it.
Great.
That's what I do. And it's not for like I get mentally exhausted, but I want to get up from my seat and do some walking because
Uh-huh.
I uh, heard this a lot, read this a lot that if you sit for too long, it is not good for your back, right? So keep walking at regular intervals.
Even that's the other thing which I tell my teammates. So what I have did is I have built an one-on-one system with my whole team. So currently we are a 50
Hmm.
member team. So every
Hmm.
month I make sure that I do a one-on-one with them, casual,
Hmm.
but I make sure I do a one-on-one. So I ask them about how the last month went, any blockers that they're facing to work, how's the
Hmm.
manager doing, how's the team doing, how's the team morale. And also I make sure that tell me one achievement that happened to you last month. It might be
Hmm.
personal, it might be work related. Then if there
Yeah.
are any concerns and make sure that I note that. So
Hmm.
during this one-on-one, I make and even I suggest to all the managers to do one-on-one monthly. Whatever that how busy they are, they should do this one-on-one because if
Yeah.
you do the performance reviews after 3 6 months, there's a lot of time gap, right? But you
Yes.
do it monthly, you give them suggestions of improvement. The main two reasons why uh, employees leave is one of the it is manager and other one is there is not that system of giving feedbacks, etc. So
Hmm.
you make sure that you give feedback to your employees regularly and you listen to them. For me, that is the most important thing in employee engagement. How well you are taking feedbacks, how well you are listening to your employees, rather than doing some uh, team building activity or fun Friday. This is the most important thing that employees
Yes.
value.
I would definitely second that because I follow same 101 monthly irrespective of what's going on, right? Super busy schedule, but I have to schedule one-on-one
One of
with
yes,
my team. That is most important because you as a manager, if you give quick feedbacks, iterations happen much easier if you
much easier.
compared to if you give it after 3 months, right? Second is they also have some feedback for you,
Yes.
not for you as a person, maybe, but for the process, for the stuff
Hmm.
that they are working on. And it is very important to listen and absorb that. It's not necessary that you can do something about it right now. More importantly, is to check the pulse, right? So I do it from that angle. Okay, I have to check the pulse, what's going on,
Pulse, yes,
right?
yes. What?
Very well said. And I think I loved your talk about that knowledge base, the ticketing system in Slack. Definitely want to touch base on that later or some other time. But yeah, these are the things that I feel is very important in every organization, be it remote or hybrid or on-site, should be adapting to this. An employee book. So you have created that employee book by yourself,
Yes, yes.
or okay?
ChatGPT,
And
I am a I fan of using AI currently.
yeah,
So you
okay,
have
cool.
ChatGPT, you should use it. I'm like the
And how big is
somewhere.
that? Like number of pages in it?
So what I have built is that number of pages, I would say, for that official, you have that official, every company has that book along with a
Hmm.
huge jargons, right? What I have built is that, for example, we have a 28 days of leave policy. So
Hmm.
what
Hmm.
I mentioned is what are the important points I have mentioned in that Slack canvas. Like
Hmm. Hmm.
28 days of leave you have for leave process, you have to put the leave in this HRMS system. Each
Uh-huh.
quarter, you get 7 leaves. Maximum leaves you can take is at a stretch is 7 working days.
Hmm.
So these are the important points. That is the main query which comes to me.
Yeah.
Is it
So
an lifestyle?
it's more of like a query FAQ handbook, that
And
employee FAQ hand.
after that I put, if you want to have a detailed read about this, click this link.
Hmm.
Where I put that our whole document in.
Whole
Um,
document.
uh, So
Interesting.
make sure that
Very
you put
interesting.
the main points. You can use ChatGPT itself because if you correctly know how to prompt ChatGPT, it will give you
Hmm.
amazing result. Just put that. Even
Yes.
I don't know if I should mention this. I even use ChatGPT or purposefulity for my employee surveys
Hmm.
and skill-based hiring.
Okay. So use Perplexity and GPT for employee
ChatGPT.
survey and skill-based hiring.
Yes,
So we'll
yes.
talk about skill-based hiring because in later part of our conversation. But yeah, good to know about this. So we were, I mean, like I think we got too much
Deviate from the
into
topics.
deviated from the topic of from how to bring output and all. So the question
Yeah, but
is
one
was
I
uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Shivam, I
please go
forgot
ahead.
to mention, but one more thing you can do is that, like for example, for remote work, during performance or one-on-ones, uh, you can include that remote work evaluation also in your performance reviews.
Hmm.
For example, you evaluate based on goals, KPIs, or OKRs, right?
Hmm.
Along with that, put a session for remote work.
Hmm.
For example, how reactive or responsive is that person during remote. So
Yes.
some measures like that, if you include that, so it becomes a formal thing wherein
Hmm.
remote work also. I'm not mentioning the like hours of work, but how responsive. So as you know, we are a first organization. So we have
Hmm.
told them that you can download and set up your Slack in mobile also. But if people are asking you something in Slack, you should respond.
Yes. Yeah.
So how
Of course. I mean,
uh,
like, what should be a response time, right? How some queries could be
where
taken,
is
right? If you, I mean, like, these are remote best practices. I would say that you
yes,
are trying to tell that these, and I agree with you. These should be evaluated and rehashed time and again to make people understand that these are the responses time, should be on camera for team meetings,
data
right?
meetings, yes,
Couple of different stuff, maybe the on-site or of the off-site thing. It's not mandatory. People don't say it's mandatory, but you feel like you are working with your team for a whole
yes,
year. At least you should meet them for a couple of days, right?
yes, yes, yes. We are having that for the tech team. We are having that in Bangalore coming 30th.
Okay, nice. It's a must-have. I mean, like we all are social animals. So I'm a big fan of Dipender Goyal, and one thing that I keeps reminding myself, and being a leader, and to every leader I mentioned that in Zomato there is a beer test,
Hmm.
and the purpose of beer test is if you can't drink a beer with a person, you cannot work with them in the same team.
So that's it.
So the whole point is to spend time and to uh, have that person around you. So if you are
Hmm.
not comfortable with that person on a beer or on a coffee chat, How can you work together? And it brings me to another point where I feel like I've read this book, Five Dysfunction of a Team,
Okay.
and amazing book. I have it on my desk every single day because it's very useful when you're leading, when you're leading teams, and especially in remote work. And I feel like the why he said beer test, because most people have this fear of conflict between in teams, and that's the biggest enemy of productivity or the things you want to get out from that particular team,
That particular team. Yes.
because people are afraid to tell truth on other person's face, sugarcoating
Mm.
a lot, right? So it is not giving the right feedback or the right
That,
thing, and the other person will interpret something else and may not react the way you wanted them to react, right? So amazing. So we'll touch base on skill based hiring for sure. I hope you have time. There is no hard stop.
yeah, yeah. No, no, no.
Cool. Because this is going in a very interesting direction, so I don't want to
Sure, sure, sure.
miss it. So yeah, we were on like what does a perfect off day look like for Vijin in Kerala?
Perfect off day. Yeah. So even on off day, I have this routine where I go. I don't miss my gym, and also
Hmm.
and the other thing is for off day, I would say, So I make sure that I see at least any of I binge watch any of the series. So for me, off day is like,
Binge watching.
yeah, binge watching is a must on Saturday or Sunday. I make sure I binge watch. Second
Hmm.
thing is some time for myself. I take some time. I read a book. Currently,
Okay.
I'm reading Atomic Habits. So I make sure
All
that
right.
I read a book and also there's some personal care like put some face mask, etc.
Hmm.
Then one
All
thing I
right.
don't miss is that I go out and play with my football with my friends. So as I mentioned, now
Hmm.
we had earlier mentioned, like we tend to put that as an outside activity, but we have this ritual every
Hmm.
Saturday, Sunday. All my college mates,
Hmm.
we had a football team. We make sure that we play it still now.
Okay, you still play Saturday and Sunday football.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nice. So one thing I heard is binge watching. So what are you binge watching? What did you binge watch last
So
weekend?
yeah, currently last week I was watching Suits.
Okay.
Along along with that, there is a documentary on Apollo 13, how they survived the
Okay.
Apollo 13. So,
Hmm.
so yeah, yeah. So, if you ask me, I am someone who watches everything and reads everything.
Okay.
From you can mention from Amarjit Kadar Tingle to newspaper clippings or books like Atomic Habits. I read everything. So I am like the
Hmm.
yeah. So read it. So that was one thing which good thing which science school boarding school did to me. That there we did not have that luxury of reading specific books, right? So
Hmm.
you used to get that newspaper. So we had
So one last question about you and your journey. Then we'll move to the HR world. It's like so you have spent your good amount of life in army school, college, and then another college for MBA, and then in work. Who has been the most influential mentor or figure for you, and what is the best piece of advice they have given you?
of influential member. It has been mostly my friends only.
Okay.
It is my friend. So in not as sort of an in colleges and telling, not
Mm-hmm.
sort of an person who was a mentor type to me. It has been always self study
Mm-hmm.
like that. But yeah, friends. So they the great piece of advice that they gave me is used to undervalue myself. Even for shifting the job, etc., I was little bit reluctant since I had my upbringing, everything in Kerala. Would I be able to adapt to that culture, the communication, etc.? But that is the
To the
one.
Bangalore culture,
Yeah, Bangalore, even the startup culture. So it was
startup culture.
so
Okay.
as I was mentioning, for 2 years, I was speaking with my native language. When the communication
Mm-hmm.
in office was native language, so how will be the shift? It was my comfort zone. So what they That was great piece of advice. What one of my friends told me is that undervalue myself a lot. Great
Hmm.
potential in me. You just have to take that leap out. Help me a
Nice.
lot.
Friends have been a big part of your
Yes, yes,
life,
yes.
right? And I think every other man would agree to this that their friends played a lot bigger role. I would certainly say that similar role to their parents, right? Because there are some topics or things that you cannot talk about with your parents, right? Frankly, you can talk it out with your friends in any manner, and they would give you the advice, criticize you badly, or maybe just, tell you on your face that this is what it is, right?
Yes,
The other people sometimes feel it's bit aggressive or not good in terms, but I think friends do it very easily, and for them it's like, okay, I mean, like if I don't do it, then who else would do it? But I'm also a big believer of having friends and having groups with whom you hang out, uh, even after my marriage. But I think one stuck I faced after my marriage is to make my wife understand that why I need my friends,
friends. Yes,
right?
yes.
And a regular at regular
I,
intervals. So I heard this line by Raj Shamani on his podcast. He said, like, when boys sit together, they don't talk about uh, productive stuff or ideas. They talk rubbish,
yes,
right? But it's a therapy,
Amma.
and there is, yeah, वो चाहिए, and there is no comparison or alternative to that in this whole world. Uh, I think that from then I started using this line. But yeah, it is there. Cool. Great to know that your friends have been the most influential people in your
So,
life,
so
and
in terms of that, in college, but apart from that, it was my mom who was more it influence. I would say
Mhm.
why even to my friends I say this. My mom did not have a personal background.
Okay.
I started my schooling. He used to do. He did not compromise on our thesis. When I used
Mhm.
to come back from my school, he used to make me read everything that was taught that day.
Okay.
Used to write in her native language, Malayalam.
Hmm.
Then
Okay.
at evening, she used to like to study that, and whenever used to whenever she used to ask questions, she used to ask in that reading her native language and answer in her native language. She did not mean that thing, but she made sure that she put that extra effort to
Yeah.
make sure that my studies did not compromise. So that is one thing which I take in my life. See, you put that extra effort, things happen. So
Yeah. Agree. And I think it's fair to say that parents, whatever they have dreamt of, but due to some situation or circumstances, weren't able to achieve that. They try to achieve it through their kids, right? Some or the other way. They put in efforts. They put in time, energy, and everything to see if their kids are taking that hobby or studies up. But yeah, I mean, like, moms are very influential. They are you can say, I mean, like, Indian moms are the true hustler, I would
yes,
say.
yes,
There is no
no
comparison
comparison.
for
Yes,
of any founder to a mom, right?
yes,
Juggling between multiple tasks, wearing multiple hats, especially working moms. And that's the reason I advocate a lot for remote work or flexibility for working moms, because they are wearing multiple hats. You might not be aware what sort
aware.
of
Yes, yes,
activities they are doing since morning till the time they go late to bed. But it's a continuous process, and you cannot say that I am not doing it today. There is no escape
yes,
from
yes.
those systems,
Escape
because
from those things.
you have to feed, you have to do other stuff, you have to work, and you can take off from work, right?
But
As a man, we can take, but
yes,
how can you take off from that homely task? You cannot. Otherwise, how will people eat? Nowadays, you can do Zomato. But what about, like, let's go 10 years back and think
Yeah,
about
you
this.
can't. Most of us does not realize this. Last year that I realized the same thing. Like I was off from work. Mom was asking, "You don't have work." I told, "No, I don't feel like I have put
Hmm.
up the leave." But she was asking this between juggling two things.
Hmm.
Something I make sure now is that at least that I have the things I think. So I like to cook to try out different dishes. So what I think, what I said I do is that at least try to make a tea for her or any
Hmm.
snack. Sometimes I tell her, "Okay, relax. Today we will not do anything. Or even if
Okay.
we are doing it, we'll do it together, but small. We don't want grand food. Today we'll do small
Hmm.
food or order from outside. You take it." So that care, I think we should give to them also.
Yes, yes. I think that that's a time off that mom should get
Yes,
every now
yes.
and then. Good to know that you also love cooking, because I love cooking, but I'm more of an outside, you can say, chef.
Understood.
Because I don't like to cook in my kitchen. But when we
When we go
have
to friends,
winters, yeah,
yes,
when so mostly during winters, my this sort of cooking hobby itself arises inside me. And I like to cook on fire than on stove, right?
understood. Mm.
That's what I enjoy. uh,
So you're
I cook
mostly
meat
into
mostly,
making barbecues, grills, and all.
barbecue or non-vegetarian foods, mostly into that. Not a very big fan of veg food. Right. Cool. So great to know that your mom and your friends have been the most influential people so far. Let's move on to the next topic, and probably we'll touch base a few things about the HR.
So,
But before that, we play a game with our guest. Uh, Earlier we were playing it like, would you rather,
hmm,
right? But this time I would like to play a different game that I recently learned about from Nikhil Kamat's podcast. So I'll ask you three things. You'll tell me, and then I'll then explain you what is the significance of that.
so
So, what's your first favorite animal?
animal.
Sorry, what? Wolf. Okay.
Yep.
What is your second favorite animal?
Favorite would be dog.
Okay. And what's the third favorite?
Simple.
Yeah, I mean, like anything,
Fish, fish.
anything you can include. Fish. All right, nice. So the significance of this game is, uh, have you played it before?
No,
Heard
no,
this
no,
sort of thing?
no.
Okay. So the significance of this is, the first favorite animal is how you want people to think of you. So now you want people to think of
Think
you as you are a
wolf.
wolf. Okay. Second favorite animal is how you think yourself, right? So you think yourself as a dog who
Dog.
is cute, funny,
Yes.
loyal,
Loyal.
right?
Yes.
But third favorite animal is who you actually are. So you actually are a fish.
Fish.
So it's a funny game. A lot of people end up answering dog in the third, as a third favorite animal. Funniest I have heard is like snake as a third favorite.
Oh, that is there in your podcast, or I will delete it.
Yep. It's funny that some people say that snake. I don't know why, but yeah. So great to know that. Most of the people, 90% of them have dog. Either one.
Dog. Either
One
one
of
is
one of the
well.
three is dog. Cool. All right. So let's move on to the next thing. So about HR, you have been into a core HR, right?
Yes.
Building policies, branding, hiring, everything.
Yep.
I want to know your honest opinion on the notice period policy that we
Yes.
have in India.
We know this period should not be more than 15 days.
You seriously think that?
So,
Okay.
uh, if the company is transparent, work is documented, and
Hmm.
I don't think for any of the KT it should take more than 1 week.
Hmm.
Currently, we have systems wherein we can record the videos that even I try to follow that. More like if we have some uh positions which get I make sure that these can record their KT. Make
Hmm.
sure that I put that as an class
Hmm.
itself in Canva. So even then I had currently only made this uh, same course on data science and LLM. So we are also building something on generative AI chatbot. So there was a person who was
Hmm.
uh, equipped and had in-depth knowledge in LLM. So we made course, it's KT. Simple.
Hmm.
Anybody comes in, anybody comes integrated into data science, go
Hmm.
through this, they'll get understanding of our basic data science models which we use, the structure, the product that we have built, and LLM. So I personally think more than 15 days the notice period should not be
Hmm.
maximum 30 days. I don't know why people are keeping it till 60, 90 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what kind of
Um,
KT or things they want for 90 days to happen.
yeah, I think it's me. I think it's mainly about till I found someone, you cannot leave.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's more
I think
about,
it is
it seems
that
more about that
you
because
can't
any
leave.
organization takes around 40, 45, 50 days to hire someone. And in this scenario, you have minimum 30 days notice. So definitely it becomes a longer cycle for
Yes.
anybody to hire. Then back out, every other issue happens.
Yeah, yeah.
So it feels like it's just because of that that till I hire someone and then you do the KT and then you leave. But yeah, I think this is very interesting point that you mentioned here that you use KT as a course, right? And I think that's not many people are even thinking of
Yeah.
doing KT as a course, not even recording KT,
Yes.
right? Because KT is done in silos. I mean, like
Silos.
I have
Yeah, yeah.
explained it to someone else for a week or created an Excel sheet that this is I have handed over. But in a lot of non-verbal things have been said, lot of verbal things can
Have been
be
said.
said. I mean, like it couldn't be documented if you cannot document my emotions,
Yes.
right? And KT is more about emotion that you are transferring the whole work to someone.
Someone.
You are transferring emotions as well. It's same like I am transmitting negative energy. A new employee comes in, will leave in 30 days if I transmit negative energy to that guy.
Why?
So that's is also important, and I think that is also good for the knowledge base thing that you mentioned to build
Yeah.
the knowledge base and also to keep a check as an organization that your culture is intact, right? People should not influence someone if they are leaving,
Living. Yeah.
right, in a bad way, which people try not to do it, but eventually it end up happening because that's their mentality
Mandal. Yes.
or attitude at that point in time when they are supposed to leave. Nice. I also agree with that 15 days. I do not agree, don't understand why is this, and it should be changed. So, what do you think? Like, what could be the possible ways in India to change it? Is it?
I
Do you see that is happening in next 5 years or so?
up with that because see, I read or heard in a podcast where that person says if somebody uh, has decided to leave you, then there is no point in making them stay for another 90 days with us, right?
Hmm.
It is better like
Yes.
you finish it off in 15 days and that person also moves on. You also have time to move on, find someone else, and everything goes on smoothly,
Yep.
right?
Agree.
So, to me, that is another thing. Like onboarding, thing should also be very smooth, very
Hmm.
respectful.
Right. I think no one said this before to me. People talk about onboarding, nobody talks about offboarding.
Yeah, for
Right.
me,
It's.
that is also that. So these are the two main entry points of an employee, right? So
Hmm.
you can't complete the journey without that. You put a very good onboarding and you treat the employee as a kid during the
Hmm.
offboarding or audit period. Then there is your culture goes, right? So you define the
Yes.
only if you are the door, you're coming inside the door, we greet you. You are going out, we don't greet you. Let's
Yeah,
follow.
we don't greet you. We'll take an exit interview, but we will not do anything about it.
Yeah,
Yep. Uh, cool. All right. Okay. Let's talk about a little bit about you mentioned about you use GPT for skill-based hiring.
yes,
How do you gauge skills, technical skills? For example, you are hiring for software engineers, right? You are hiring for marketing folks. You are not a tech folk. But, even if you learn it, you still have that limitation. We don't know in depth, right? People can talk about it, but you can gauge to a certain level. After that, you don't know
After
how
that,
to
we
gauge
can't.
it.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So, what steps you follow to assess the candidate if they are a good fit for a particular role? If you could give me an example, how do you assess that?
If I am hiring for Java developer or any position,
Hmm.
what first do is that I ask my hiring manager on a call
Okay.
the persona
Hmm.
of the ideal
Okay.
candidate which we should have.
Okay.
Make sure what skills he ask him, what is a must-have skill. So he mentioned core Java, Spring Boot,
Hmm.
should have worked on REST API,
Yeah.
when he mentioned. Then I mentioned,
Hmm.
is there any specific thing that I should check? So
Hmm.
he mentions like this is a IT role or a manager role. So if it is a manager role, I check have you worked with the team? Have you handled the team?
Hmm.
So handle, yeah, so then what were the problems that you faced? How did you resolve that?
Hmm.
You have the regular connect? Did you have one-on-one? What was the feedback
Hmm.
mechanism? So with
Hmm.
this, I gauge what type of a manager he is. Would he be a good fit to our culture? So we as a company, Rebit, we follow transparency very much. So even I remember Rajiv, our CEO, he mentioned that weekly calling, every department gives their so you know what is happening in other department, even sales, etc. We sometimes have to tell him ki Rajiv, don't share this much. So for
Okay.
Rajiv, he tells me I measure my success by how many entrepreneurs or founders came from my company.
Hmm. Interesting.
So for currently me also I have worked in marketing department. I know how the growth marketing happens.
Hmm.
So finance person things, success में क्या चल रहा है, data science which your product we are building. So everybody
Hmm.
has that. That's when you of you are also part of company or what we are building, right?
The complete system,
Complete.
whatever is
So
going
then I
on.
make sure
Yeah.
that person who like transparency.
Hmm.
Then I ask him the basic, like in resume there are some things which I check. Like has he written something on improve the product?
Hmm.
It might be
Okay.
connecting with databases.
Hmm.
Yes, because of his effort, the timing reduced to this percentage.
Hmm.
I make sure that my hiring manager gives me five profiles. Me, I will be paired sourcing. It is not just the hiring manager gives me a and then
Hmm.
he's on I find profile. For me, it's a
Okay.
paired sourcing. I am to post it on there so
Hmm.
that hiring for Java and the hiring manager would be someone senior person in Java. So his connect
Yeah.
will be people who are have the same interest or working
Yes.
in same. So I make sure he
Hmm.
promotes and I make sure he from LinkedIn gives me five profiles which he thinks is a
Hmm.
perfect fit for this role. So
Hmm.
what helps me is that it helps me in finding similar profiles in LinkedIn and outreaching to them.
Hmm.
And also when
Hmm.
I'm screening the resumes, I can match it.
Relevancy.
I think this persona is very important for me. So for
Hmm.
me, if this persona is perfect, the kind of resumes I screen and give to my team would be value.
Yeah. Would be much more relevant.
Right.
Nice. So once you are done with this persona building, right, from your hiring manager, now you know everything, what exactly this
Yes.
person needs. What sort of initial call you do with the candidate to assess, like, you know, why they are a good fit, right? And what process you follow? Because there are multiple ways people do it, right? So I've been a recruiter myself, but I've seen like people go on a call, 5 minutes call, 10 minutes call, check the skills, check the CTC and all that stuff, done it. There are sort of recruiters like that as well. Then there are certain level of recruiters who do a little bit of hard work. They talk to them about their experience, their projects and everything, and then submit it. And then there are pro recruiters who talk about everything in detail on a phone call, maybe a 20 minutes phone call. And then there are elite level recruiters who do everything on a video call. They block time, they make sure that candidate feels that this is as important for them to find a job. It is equally important for him to find a right guy. they do a certain level of qualification. They do not just give job to everyone. They check whether the guy is also a right fit to present the job. So uh, it's like I call it like recruitment marketing. So you're marketing for recruitment, but you're not giving it for free. That okay, anyone who is fit can apply. You are picking the right people. You are qualifying on certain aspects. How your process looks like.
I would,
Okay.
but in call itself, it goes on for more than 30 minutes. I make sure. So,
Hmm. Okay.
if you know, I had done some basic courses in neuroscience and things. So there is a
Hmm.
thing called wherein we clone the other person. Like
Okay.
for example, one way we of it is like if we meet a person in face, if the
Hmm.
person is standing with his hands folded, you so
Hmm.
address the person with by hands behind and addressing it, then your
Okay.
vibrate so it matches more easier to connect with that person,
Hmm.
things like that, right? Currently, if I see you nod your head a lot, so I also do that. So we have that
Hmm.
thing, we have that connect, things like that. And thing is, you find the common things that you have.
Hmm. Okay.
You told cooking, so I told I also like cooking. You remember then we connected on what we cook, etc.
Hmm.
Connected on friends. So what I make sure is firstly in the call, I very casual.
Hmm.
I make sure
Okay.
that I ask that person what is your interest, what is your family, make it comfortable. Then I go on to the skills. But
Hmm.
I don't just finish with what is your current package or this your expense package, not if no. I ask them why
Hmm.
they are looking for a job change.
Hmm.
Even if I approach that candidate, I might have approached them upfront, right? Hey, are you available? We are opening. I find your profile good fit. Are you available? They would not have applied directly, but then also I ask
Hmm.
this question: are
Hmm.
why you are looking? Are you not currently happy with that job role? What is the thing? Then try to
Hmm.
gauge more.
Hmm.
At the first consult, I asked them, just tell me two, three things that you like about the current company you're managing. That's not like,
Hmm. Okay.
try to tell what we do. We,
Okay.
as company, Rebit, we do, what a culture we have, what we are looking for. Kill, kill a good fit, which do you find this to be a good fit for the role you are looking for?
Okay. All right. So this is how it is structured. So what I heard, I'll just repeat here. So you connect with the candidate for a 30 minutes call, right? And you make them comfortable, talk about non work related stuff,
Yes,
mutual interest, right? I think it's good to set a repo to make that person more open,
open more, yes, yes.
certainly. And then you talk about their interests, their family, and then you ask about why they are looking out. So does it? Okay, I'll ask that question later. So and then you talk about two, three things that they don't like about the job and versus they like about the job and why they are looking. What and then you pitch the company, your company, what you do, and and then you ask that question after pitching that do you find it good enough for a switch and all. This call happens for 30 minutes, right? And is there any change in process or structure when you cold call someone, like you found someone on Naukri.com and you are calling out of the blue, right? Versus someone who has applied to your job posting. Does anything change? Not
There
much.
is much
Okay.
of a change.
Right, but when someone applies to your position, and for example, you have two, three questions, so you assume that they have seen the job description, they know, maybe knowing little bit about your company. Is that something that you expect from them, or you
In
have no
current market,
expectation?
no, in current market, I don't expect because I know people apply randomly. I ask them,
Mm-hmm.
do you know about Rebit? If they say, ki, yes, I have gone through your website, I know a
Mm,
bit of it, then I explain it more. Otherwise, if they say, no, I just applied, then also I do the same thing, explain
mm.
it to them regarding Rebit, but there I find the candidate to be more interested with us.
When they apply, and
When they have gone through the website and
gone through the website. Proactive candidates. Cool. And one more question I want to understand is, for example, mhm, mm, yeah, interested, investing time and asking the right questions. Nice. Also tell me, like, because in this world where everybody is working Monday to Friday, right? And people are going to offices or working. When you call them, there might be some of the candidates who don't pick your call, right? Maybe you tried twice or thrice, still no answer. And but even if they pick up, they can say you, look, I have only 2 minutes or 5 minutes. I'm in the middle of something. How do you tackle these situations? Because you need 30 minutes of that time. Hmm. Okay. Okay. And what's the percentage of these candidates who tell you, call me after 6? So 20% are only asking you. Hmm. 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 Okay. So you talk to get a timing on a chat and then you call them. Okay. Nice. Hmm. 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 Okay. Cool. Another thing that wanted to learn from you is this industry, because of the notice period, offer shopping happens, a lot of backouts happens, right? Once the candidate has cleared the process, the interview process, once you are about to give them offer, do you do a sense check or a pulse check at that time? If yes, then what sort of checks you do to understand whether this guy will join for sure, or how do you gauge that? Hmm. Okay. Why is that? Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. And is that happened means 90% of the time? If a person is willing to join you, that he will give you referral. If he doesn't give you referral, that means he's not joining. Okay, so then it's like majority of the folks who do not give referral are not joining, don't end up joining. Okay. All right, this is a nice matrix to look like. I'm not sure how other people are trying. And this is, invented by you, that this thing asking for referral. Okay. All right. Nice, something nice to learn. And anything else that you use or any strategy that you guys follow at Rebid, or anything that you know in the market that is going on to avoid back out?
Yeah, so that offer is done, it is very important you connect with that candidate regularly. Some of
Hmm.
the strategies that we do is that, and one other thing which I tell is, so I'm someone who is very transparent. So there in my DNA, and also the company which currently I am in, we also have the say. So even
Hmm.
on interviews, everything is transparent. So I tell them, see, people introduce, we are giving you priority.
Hmm.
If you are thinking of backing out, then tell me beforehand.
Hmm. Yep.
Since I have to then find out someone to tell me beforehand. So this is the level of transparency which I maintain. And the
Hmm.
other thing is, after we send out an offer, I make sure each week I have touch point with them.
Hmm. Okay.
So
Weekly touch point.
weekly touch point is where I schedule a call with our CEO, like an
Hmm.
copycat where and I have found out Rajiv, our CEO, he has been in the
Hmm.
industry for 10 to 15 years. He is someone who brings a positive energy and can influence people. So he gives a
Of course.
better strategy of things that we are looking at, ambition, etc.
Hmm.
And
The bigger picture.
yes, and meeting with the CEO is like, for them it is like a big thing. You're meeting the
Hmm.
company CEO, he is talking to you. So make sure we have a call with CEO.
Okay.
The regular company updates, or if, for example, if Diwali celebrations are going on, I make sure
Hmm.
whomever I have offered, I send them our
Hmm.
Diwali gift.
Okay. So is it like only during Diwali, or if someone joins around Christmas, then you send
Yeah, yeah,
something
whatever
else?
is happening at that time, I make sure I send, or if celebration is there, I make sure I invite them to the office. When
Hmm.
office was there, I was just mentioning. So 1 week I scheduled the CEO. Next week I scheduled the chief with
Okay.
team lead. Then 1 week I will schedule their call with Buddy.
Hmm. And this is before onboarding. Okay. Interesting.
And also I give them referrals in LinkedIn email. Ask them, you
Hmm.
can go ahead,
Okay.
connect with them. A new thing which I yet to propose to my team is to send
Hmm.
them some gift vouchers.
Okay. Why is that?
I found out that sending any gift and goodies or laptop back earlier, if that person is not interested, they would be thinking, no, no, don't send now,
Hmm.
like that.
Okay. But I think no one will say it to you that don't send it uh, before. But yeah, I think it's a good practice that if so, how is I see it, like people in India may not tell you, okay, don't send it. Might be there are some people who will say it to you. So let's say if 50% people say it, 50% don't say it, they still accept it and then back out after some time. But how I see is like in my earlier days when we used to, if you see your local jewelers, right, they give you a calendar every Diwali or every
Mm.
big festival, and that stays in your home for the whole year. So your calendar is from your jewelers, right? Every other person who is visiting your home is watching that calendar. You are using that calendar to note down things and stuff like that. And I think when companies start doing that, you are reaching to people homes. So it's similar to TV advertising, much
Yes.
more effective. That if you are sending so at Uploads our team sends us like goodies or a welcome kit, right? So welcome kit itself amazed the candidate when they are
Candid.
joining.
Yes.
Apart from laptop, they are getting a bottle, a mug, right, a headphone, branded things,
Branded
right?
thing.
So they get excited about that. Plus, we used to get it earlier on Diwali, then we started getting it on Founders Day. So I still have like three different bottles for
Hmm.
3 different years, water bottles. Every bottle has a different color,
Different.
a
Yes.
hoodie, a t-shirt. I have probably 5 t-shirts, right, with different, uh, styles, right? Some are polo, some are for gym. So I think that's add a lot of value. I think you are on the right. You have the right idea in mind, and I can vouch it for that. That these things works. Not sure how it influenced people to still accept the offer, but whom even if they are not, it is reaching to their home so that family is aware that something from rebid has came, and rebid is something, right? Which is a great thing. I think definitely everyone should try that. Okay, my next question is, how do you see gaps in resume? How do you see career gaps in resume? For example, if a resume comes to you has a career gap, but you find it out, okay, this is a career gap. There is nothing mentioned, right, about versus someone who has mentioned that I took 6 months gap for so and so reason. Okay. So you feel like even if it is a 6 months gap on your resume, it doesn't matter, even if you are working or not working. Hmm. 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 So for women's, it is so for genuine reason for women or someone met with an accident, right? That is, I think people still buy it. But what I meant by asking this question is that a lot of layoff happened recently in last couple of years, and people who are trying, let's say they are trying for 3 or 4 months, not getting enough job. What's your outlook for those candidates? Because a lot of thing that I see in market is people see them that they are not good fit because they have been into market, they might be interviewing, or their company laid them off because they were not performing, which are not the real reasons. Hmm. 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 Yeah. So they overhired before, and that's the reason. Hmm. And how do you see this? So if I am a person who got laid off, right? How do you see? Shall I openly mention it to everyone? Like when I post it on LinkedIn, people post it like I'm looking for job, right? Shall someone post it like I got laid off for so and so reason from so and so company, and now I am looking out for job? How do you see that, and what should one try? Because the second narrative is like, don't tell people that you got laid off because otherwise people will stop responding to your messages, or company won't be very much interested in you interviewing you if you give them this real reason. How do you see that? Hmm. 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 Yes. Hmm. So how do you see that? Is that a right thing to do, or is that unfair? It is unfair. Hmm. Salary. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. So you're more, what you are saying is more on the skill. You pay for the skill, not for the previous salary that they were getting, not for the previous work that they did, because here things can be totally different, right? And they might be putting in more effort or more skill, which is good to hear. I think a lot more people should practice this, uh, because a narrative what I hear from the market, from the job seekers, that if they put open to work on LinkedIn, most people stopped reaching out to them. Even if lesser, they start getting lesser connection, like acceptance on LinkedIn, because people feel that this guy or girl is coming to me to ask for a job. So, and also, they feel like whenever they apply for job, again this another narrative comes in that okay, this guy is open to work, right? They first check from how long he has been looking, and then try to negotiate on the salary, like you mentioned about that. So that is something I think, industry should change, uh, and I think the HRs are the front runners of that. You guys are the leader in that space, right? And your mindset speaks a lot in the market. Whatever you say, whatever you think, whatever you share in the market, uh, you know, g- get a lot of attention, because the way you think, a lot of people or job seekers want to know how HR thinks, right? What they exactly think if I put open to work. And like you rightly mentioned, like go for a skill-based hiring rather than judging people on their past experiences. If someone has applied. Hmm. 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 Yeah. Yes. I think technical recruitment, even I mean, like in IT, software engineering recruitment has a lot of biases involved, starting from where you receive the application, when you talk to people, every the process or every step has a new bias. And it is, I mean, like some people say that it can be automated. I don't think that, I mean, like just to remove bias, if you feel like, okay, this process can be automated, yes, you can, but people buy people, right? People don't buy technology just for the sake of, because this technology can gauge me. Number one question arises, how and why? Second is, you cannot judge the non-verbal cues, the emotions. I don't see technology anywhere in this world, maybe down the line 10 years. No, still not, because human will also evolve, right? So, okay, according to you, you know, you are a remote company, right? You onboard employees remotely. What are the top three things that you do at Rebid that makes a great onboarding for your employees? Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. 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 Yeah. Interesting. Right.
Along
Also,
with that,
just
I take the manager and buddy feedback.
okay. So you manager and buddy feedback and employee feedback for 7, 15,
Yes,
30, 60,
yes.
90 days. Nice. That's a nice practice for the first 3 months. Also give a glimpse to our audience, right? This is a process that you follow once a candidate joins. But for what if like candidate has a 60-day notice? Just give us top three things that every organization, be it remote or hybrid or on-site, should do to make sure that employee onboarding is and the candidate is intact with your organization. What are the top three things you
So
suggest?
I create an touch point
Hmm.
wherein you send your company's handbook or a message from CEO or a message from
Hmm.
your manager, connect with your manager, buddy connect,
Hmm.
the onboarding gift way before,
Hmm.
having them
Okay.
inducted to BGV or celebrations are going on, sending them wishes, sending them
Hmm.
articles on the products that you are coming up with. Things like
Okay.
this, keeping the touch point is, and you personally have a connect with them.
Hmm. So you means like you means the HR or the recruiter,
HR,
right?
yes, yes. I know
Okay. So.
that I ask them what is happening. Have
Hmm.
you gone for some trip? How was your weekend looking like?
Hmm.
घर सब ठीक है? Make sure that I ask them everything. And sorry, I forgot to mention during onboarding, I like practice of join is scavenger hunt.
Okay.
So
What is that?
you have joined us, for example, Shivam has joined us.
Hmm.
Give you the KTI, give you some of the company policies, things, right? So
Hmm.
there are so many things you have to go through.
Yeah.
Make sure after 1 week, I a scavenger hunt, wherein I ask you specific questions.
Hmm.
Like what is your
Okay.
leave policy? How many days of leave you have? So and if you are
Hmm.
not read that, you have to go to that document, find out, give me the answer. And I put it key, find your buddy's birthday.
Nice.
So
That's a
you
nice
go
question.
talk with other
Hmm.
people, you find out that answer you come back. So this is like a
Hmm.
gamification also. There is involvement. I tell you say hello to Rajiv. I
Hmm.
ask to find out who likes biryani, the company. Things like that you can
Hmm.
customize. You can use ChatGPT for these questions, things like that. This
Hmm.
is a good thing, like wherein first week scavenger around when they talk with other people, what and things like
Cool. As you know, I mean, like this talk is going really, really well, Vijay. But I want to be mindful of your time as well because
sure, sure.
we already spent 2.5 hours
Yeah.
talking, and it's amazing that I haven't felt bored or less interested for a single second. I hope.
You have been 2 hours, right? I just felt like 1 hour.
And I have more questions about remote work, remote team management. But I think let's do that some other time because I want to be mindful of your time because I mean like it's also lunch time for everybody in India. So let's do that. But before I go, just tell me a little bit about what you are building at Rebit, right?
Sure.
Why it started, and a little bit about your what defines your company culture. I've so because you are working with uploads, I know, right, what your culture is. I've read about your statement by Rajiv, right? But in a nutshell, if you can share that for our audience, so that people in India knows what is Rebit, why they exist, and what sort of company is this?
We are what we call an advertiser CDP. We
Okay.
are into performance marketing industry. You know, there are it's run by agencies.
Yes.
The clients they don't get the full picture of what is going on in agency, how the data looks like. It is side
Hmm.
out. So what we have built is an model. You get the benefit of our performance marketers who will work for you as an agency. Along with that, you
Hmm.
have our product,
Okay.
data-driven product. So we have connections with
Hmm.
all the wall gardens out there, like LinkedIn ad, Google ad, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, etc. All your
Hmm.
performance marketing data flows to our dashboard. You can silo it, you can watch it however you want, you can create charts, etc. The second thing is, as I mentioned, you get the expertise of our performance marketing team. So
Hmm.
we have VP of our performance marketing who has around 15 plus years of experience across different digital agencies, performance marketing
Okay.
agencies. And we
Hmm.
have a team of all certified in Google, Meta, LinkedIn ads, all certified
Mm.
marketeers with around an average experience of 3 years.
Mm.
So
Okay.
along with that, we have the CDP product, which is like customer data product, wherein
Mm-hmm.
once you have your lead, your the first party data, you can come to
Mm.
our platform. You can segment those based on geography or age, behavior wise. You can run your
Mm-hmm.
marketing campaign,
Okay.
WhatsApp, email, push in-app marketing, and you can find out the whole life journey of your customer. For example, to give an example, you are an e-commerce player. Have
Mm.
people coming to your and placing products in cart,
Mm.
but they then abandon the cart, right? For example, you would have
Yeah.
also, I also have done that. We put
Yeah. Yeah.
things in Amazon. So through our product, you can find out who have done that. You give
Mm.
them specific marketing. Like you can send them
Okay.
WhatsApp marketing messages telling you your
Mm-hmm.
card looks empty. If you buy this now, you get 20% off. So you make the customers who are dormant also into your pipeline. So this is the whole
Okay. So
ecosystem which we are building.
for
Along with
people who
that,
have
sorry, go ahead, sir.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like just because you said this, I got it reminded me of how Zomato does it, right? So the notification comes in, "Aaj biryani
Aaj
khaoge,"
biryani khao.
right?
Yes, yes,
It's like gives you, it triggers you,
yes,
right?
yes,
And because you have eaten biryani or ice cream from Baskin Robbins or anything else, based on the pattern, they give you notifications, which triggers your behavior, right?
yep.
I think interesting, very interesting that what you guys are building.
And
Yeah,
also
please continue.
currently we are looking, which is the LLM and generative AI. So we are
Uh-huh.
looking to build an generative AI piece chatbot kind of a thing. We already have the product. We are giving it to our clients currently. Where, for
Mm-hmm.
example, you are a marketer. You
Mm.
have to go through chart. You don't have time to go through all the data, everything. You just type,
Yeah.
give me the conversion rate data of link for last 3 days.
Mm. Okay.
So the model will run, it will give you the data. And the other thing is we are building now recommendations.
Nice.
But
Mm.
you're a marketer, you are asking it, "See, how do I, so you have a campaign running and your which might be click or CTR is low.
Mm.
So it will give you prompts or actions. See, your CTR is low, you can try these things. Based on the past data, it calls it teaches itself and gives off. So that is the current thing that we are adding to this. And
Okay.
as you know, right, age might
Yes.
be the next thing coming up. So we think that it will be an revolution in marketing, performance marketing industry also. So we are into that also
Mm.
currently.
Yeah, I think generative AI agents would be the next big thing because uh, I mean, like people think like AI does everything. So how what I have learned. So I follow this page on Instagram. Uh, she's a professor of AI, has around decade of experience uh, in US, right? So what she mentions, like, so LLM is like the whole large language model, but it doesn't have access to internet. So for you to access the internet and give the prompt and then AI works on that prompt, you need an agent who knows what to do and can also connect with the internet. So that gathers the data and use the LLM as well. So I think I mean, like for LLM, AI agents, multiple AI agents would be
Yes,
playing in the market for
market. Yes.
every small to big thing, mid-sized things, and it would be a huge market for sure. Cool. So we learned about what Rebit is building, what new you are building. Tell us about a little bit about what Rebit is known for in the company, right? What defines your culture?
Thing as I mentioned, which defines our culture is transparency. So
Okay.
we are
Yeah.
transparent even in terms of, for example, I will tell you. So we company don't believe giving random things. Like for some people, cannot say they give them a certificate or a memento. But with the
Mm.
current Gen Z population, everything in market, they want instant rewards, they want coupons. So whatever we do, we make sure we run a survey. We don't implement things
Mm.
based on this only the top management doing that. So here,
Okay.
yeah. So we run a survey for anything. Like if we are taking an medical insurance, we run a survey. If we are putting a initiative to bring health checkup, we put a survey. And if
Hmm.
more than 60% has one opinion, then we go with that. So,
Yes. Okay.
like I think
Interesting.
we can talk about that initiative in
Yep.
podcast what we did.
But transparency is the one big thing
Yes,
that you guys
transparency,
follow.
equality, ownership. This is the three things which I would define as
And flexibility is because you are a remote company, so it's by default in your DNA that you
DNA.
are a
Yes,
flexible company. And ownership because I feel like every startup want people that can take ownership, be accountable for their work. Like you mentioned previously, it's not how much time you put in, it's about what output you bring
what?
to
Yes,
the table. Nice. I think that's good to know all these things about Rebate, about your culture. And that brings to the end of this particular episode.
sure, sure.
I am definitely intrigued by your answers and the things that I've learned from you around the onboarding. A few very interesting things that you mentioned about onboarding. We mentioned about offboarding,
Yes,
which no one's talks about. You mentioned about career gaps. You mentioned about notice period, and especially about your journey from and how army school and has shaped up your life,
yep.
right? About Kerala a lot. I think audience will definitely enjoy it. And kudos to you for coming on the podcast, spending 2 hours 43 minutes right now. I can see it on my screen.
Yes, yes, yes.
I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, sure.
Uh,
Yeah, Shivam. It was great
and
to connect with you too.
Yeah, thanks. I take it as a compliment because I try to make it fun, not boring, right? I tend to ask a lot of questions because I'm curious about the topics that I'm, talking to
So,
people. And whenever I see something new, I want to get into deep and understand why is that happening if something is happening. I wanted to ask one small thing, which I've been waiting for for a whole 2.5 hours. Is like the drawings that are behind you on the
yeah,
walls
yeah.
and
It is.
on that door is
It is
done by you.
by me. So I have the art is something which calms me. So I'm self-taught artist. I like paint on different surface. So customer shoes.
Okay.
I draw on buildings. So you can see only the one wall in Instagram. See my other wall, everything here. I have made one Jack Sparrow.
Oh,
Sparrow.
nice. So I
Then
can already see that if I'm not wrong, I initially thought that's Iron Man.
no, we it was V for Vendetta.
Okay.
That is an
And then here I see that that's Joker, right?
I don't know.
On your
Actually, the one which you see as an Iron Man, it is not an Iron Man. It was an abstract painting which I drew with chalk. So it is like
okay.
you should talk less, listen to your mind, and attain nirvana.
Hmm.
So that's the earphone is there. You have tape on the mouth, and you have that hollow on top.
Oh, now I get the significance.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Then this is from one of my famous movie. If you know, there's a movie called V for Vendetta.
Mhm. Okay.
When you watch it, it is regarding how society we have been sub. So it is a movie about wherein the government controls all the broadcasting things like that, and
Mhm.
one person for his ideas. So there's famous quote
Hmm.
in which he tells, "May not be bulletproof, but the ideas are bulletproof." So yeah, it is a good movie. So
Definitely, I just taken a note of that Vendetta, right?
for Vendetta.
Cool. So we got a movie recommendation. You mentioned about you are reading a book, Atomic Habits.
Yes, yes.
Do you want to share one learning for
Yeah,
before we
I would
hop
always
off?
share with everyone. So in that book, it talks about incremental gain. Habits is
Okay, what is
that
that?
book is about how you build habits. So that
Mm-hmm.
incremental gain is nothing but so there's a mention which the thing. So Olympic gold medal in cycling. It was ruled by in USA for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Australia Olympic team hired a coach. His motto was you one thing and improve that 1%. So they try to look on different suits that the wear, identified
Hmm.
that helmet, cycle. They found out if you apply Vaseline on leg, the fatigue is less. By after 3 years, I think team won most of the Olympic gold medals for that year. So that
For
talks
cycling.
about taking a small thing and improving it 1% at a time.
Hmm.
Incremental.
Interesting.
You improve one thing at 1% today. In 1 year, you have that incremental gain.
Yep. It reminds me of that quote where it says like if you improve 1% a day, it becomes 365% a year.
365%.
Interesting.
And I
That's
try to
interesting.
apply that in my current role also. It is like
Hmm.
I revisit all the current procedures we have in HR. I look, I take one specific section at a time. Be onboarding. I just thinking
Hmm.
how can I increase it more 1%? Can I add
Yeah.
something else? Can I remove
Hmm.
something? Is this good? So that's how we build it, right? You just improve not only personally your work, everything you improve one
Yeah,
percentage.
I mean, I think any process has iterations. It
Hmm.
goes obsolete after a certain period of time. So if you don't, continuously update it or upgrade it, people don't make any sort of improvement or the
Improvement.
incremental uh, thing that you mentioned. So that's great. I think I'm also curious about you. You read No Rules Rules, right? That about
Yeah, yeah,
uh, Netflix, right?
yes, like
Cool. I think let's keep that book for our next
for a next
episode
year.
because I haven't read that. I have read Atomic Habits, right? But I've read No Rules Rules. Definitely a very interesting book uh, about Netflix and how they because a quote still remains in my mind that I see a lot on LinkedIn and everywhere is like we started with tapes, right? And we are here, but tapes will never get out of fashion, right? It says something like because you have to stay grounded, stay
They
humbled
have
from where you started and what you are building right now. Maybe everything on your AWS cloud server, right? But still the feel of it should be like person are watching it on a videotape.
yes,
Interesting. Great. I think let's wrap it up here,
so
Vijin. And I don't want to because I still like talking to you,
same, yes,
right?
you are.
But it's a great bond that I have built on the first call that we had.
Hmm.
Though that was a business call, but somehow felt a connect out there. And usually I don't ask people out for podcasts so immediately that I did to you. And you immediately responded with so much of energy and positivity.
Yeah,
And now I feel like, why was that? Because this was supposed to happen a very productive conversation
yes,
for remote work for HR, and we are still yet to talk about remote work and
remote work,
management,
yes,
all
yes,
of that stuff. But great knowing you, great knowing about your background, about your journey, about Kerala, about food, about Rebid. Thanks for sharing all of that. Much appreciated. And let's plan another podcast, maybe next weekend or whenever you are available.
sure.
And, we'll bring more insights to this world of remote work
Yes, yes.
because that would be our next topic. Cool. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Shivam.
Nice speaking with you. Have a nice weekend. Binge watch, right? Eat
Yeah,
some,
yeah. I have to go
eat some
play
fish.
football now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
football for sure. And will you be cooking anything this weekend?
Chicken, yeah, yeah. I have bought chicken, so I'm trying a new recipe. Not new, but make so there's a thing called I think it's an African dish wherein you make a chicken stew middle
Mm-hmm.
of bread law.
Okay. Hmm. Maybe I have seen maybe a video or two about that. I'm trying to recall that.
Yeah, yeah, but
So,
that thing it has lots of calories because I have to add lot of to so that
interesting.
yes, 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 yes.
That's gonna be interesting. And you are on. You said you are on Instagram, right? let's follow each other on Instagram. Maybe
Sure.
that'll be great, so that I know what you are eating, right?
Yeah, yeah. Sure, sure.
Probably being a foodie.
Yep, yep, yep.
Cool. Thanks, Vijay.
Thank you.
Nice speaking with you. Talk to you soon, man. Let's
Sure,
stay
sure.
in touch.
Sure, Shivam.
Yep.
Thank you.
Bye
Bye.
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 Thanks.
Have a
Bye.
nice weekend. Take care.
You too.